Hi guys, today we're going to look at a nice groovy tune. We're going to be looking at Venus by Shocking Blue. Right, so let's look at the introduction. I'll play it for you first. So right, let's talk about what I was doing there. So we're going to start with a B7 sus4 chord. Very much similar to our B7 chord. We're just moving up our middle finger, that E flat note, up to an E. Rhythmically it goes like this. Every strum I'm doing a down and then an upstroke afterwards. So after this we go to our E minor chord and an A chord. This progression is heard almost throughout the entire song. It's a nice little strumming pattern and it's got a string rake in between the chords. So all together we have this slowly. When we come back to our B7 sus4 chord, we're going to play a slightly old rhythm and it goes like this. I'll do that one more time. And that will lead us into the verse. Okay, so let's talk about the verse. We've already played half of the verse in the introduction, that E minor to A progression. The other half of the progression is going to be an A minor to D. To change between those two progressions, we're going to play a nice groovy riff between them. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on there. When I'm coming off of the A chord and going back to the E minor, I'm not playing an E minor chord, I'm actually playing an E5 chord. I'm leaving out that E note, I'm just playing the two E and B notes. I'm playing them in unison together. I'm going to strike that once, then hit an E note by itself, then hit a G note, then go down to the open A note, and then slide in with your index finger to a B note twice. Then do another open A note, and then finally a G note. This will then lead us into our A minor. Okay, so let's play that riff coming off of the progression. Okay, so let's talk about the chorus quickly. It's a really simple part to play actually. What we're going to do is we're going to play a C bar chord and then go back to our B7 sus4 chord. And then after those two chords we're going to go back to our E minor and A and then do the same progression. There's no strict rhythmic pattern between the two chords, the C and the B7 sus4, but if you wanted to look for a general guide or rule of thumb, then what I would do is I would play the C chord as a slower strumming pattern and then play an almost kind of double time motion with the B7 sus4. Okay, Okay, so to begin the solo, we're going to use our middle finger on the G string and we're going to slide up to a B note. Then we're going to bring in our index finger on the G note, on the E string. It's very similar to double stops, but we're just going to play them one after the other. After we do this bit, we're going to go down 2 frets and we're going to go to this A note with our middle finger on the G string. We're going to bring in our ring finger on the F sharp note. And then after this, we're going to take that down another 2 frets and play the same thing. After we get to this bit, we're then going to bring in our pinky finger on the B string on a B note. And then we're going to get our 3 fingers on this G flat note on the G string, and then we're going to bend up a full tone and then bring it back down again. And then we're going to play an E note. Slowly it sounds like this. After that, we're going to play this quick phrase. That's going to start on a B note, then go to a C sharp, and then an E. We're going to hammer on, and then play the E note. In full, it sounds like this. Okay, so let's talk about the second phrase. It's going to be really similar to what we've done in the first phrase with the descending run and the bends, only this time when we get to the D string with the B note, we're going to do a slightly old rhythm. I'll show you how this goes slowly. I'll do that again. I'll now play the first phrase and the second phrase together, one after the other, so you can hear the difference. Okay, so let's have a look at the third phrase. We're going to start the third phrase coming off of that, and we're going to move straight into a bend on the G string with that G flat note. We're going to bring in our pinky, holding the note, and then we're going to bring it down, and then pick the E note again, and then play the same. So far the solo sounds like this. Okay, so let's look at the fourth phrase. To play this, we can go straight back on another bend. This time we're not going to bring in our pinky on that B string. We're going to bend twice. And then bring it down and go to that E note. And then play the same. Altogether the solo sounds like this so far. Okay, so let's have a look at our fifth phrase. To start our fifth phrase, we're going to play that same lick we've already played, starting on that B note on the D string. But then we're going to play it another time, but instead of starting on the B note, we're going to start on the C sharp note, and then we're going to go down to a B note. After this, we're then going to go to the A string and play a G note, which will act as a passing note, and then we're going to go down to an F sharp, and then we're going to go to an E. After this, we're then going to go to a B note on the E string, play a C sharp, and then finish on that E note again. The phrase sounds like this. Here's the full solo, quite slowly. So after after we finish the solo section, we're going to play a verse and then a chorus, and then we're going to get into this little instrumental break, which is just going to be simply sliding up an A5 chord up to a B5 chord. This goes around 4 times. After this, it goes into a sort of bridgy section, and where the vocal does a little riff, and if you've got more than one guitar player, then we can follow the vocal line. It goes like this. Simply using the octaves of E, F sharp, G, going back to F sharp, G again, F sharp again, and back to E. Okay, thanks guys for tuning in for this tutorial of Venus by Shocking Blue. I'll see you next time.